Break Street.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Tony Fontana, and this is Breakseed Productions video on simple remixing secrets. And if in case you've noticed, there's no background song for this video, so we're gonna try to change it up. But first and foremost, I want to apologize for releasing this video on Friday instead of a Wednesday. Just got delayed on some things and try to get this track finished for you guys. It's pretty exciting, but I should have met the deadline when I said I was going to release it. So that is completely my fault, and I apologize for that. And thank you guys for taking the time to watching this video, for those of you who do watch it. So with that said, let's begin talking about how I remix this track. And as you know, it's Calvin Harris's track, Blame. It's on the top 40s right now. I believe it's still there. You guys have a chance to check it out, go ahead and check it out. It's a pretty cool tune, dance to. And the reason I picked this song, and it's my first point for remixing, is picking the track that you want to remix. And I was listening to this track and several other ones when I had a DJ gig last month for a wedding, and basically I just fell in love with it. I thought it was a cool tune, and it was catchy, and it seemed like a song that just wanted a remix, and that's exactly what I did. And I started working on it, and I used the track as my reference track, my main track, and duplicated some of the parts from the verse and the hook, and started cutting them and placing them to the places I wanted them to be. And that's how I set up my arrangement, picked it part by part. And you can see also, I still have the original track down here. It's just best to just have that there, just in case if you do some cutting, or want to use different sections of the track for your main arrangement, to have the main reference track, excuse me, here at this track, at this area right here. That way, if you do mess up, you still have something, or your original track, just to go back to and do your editing however you can, just to fix your arrangement. And also, along with that, it's always important to listen to other remixes, and such as, for example, I listened to Zed's remix of Rude, pretty catchy tune as well, and his other remix with Ariana Grande, Break Free, another catchy one. And I just happened to listen to several other ones, dance tunes, electro house, or just songs that just has a good pump, kind of makes you want to dance. That's the type of music I like to listen to. And so that's pretty much point number one. Listen to them and pick the one that you would like to work on. And so once you do that, going to my second point is finding the BPM of that song. Well, this one is 128, as you can see right here. What I did, I used the BPM count right here, and it basically just told me the BPM. I'll let you guys see how I did it, and see, there it is right there. And 128, that's the BPM for the whole track. So that's important to know as far as try to arrange the track and also picking the right samples that match the beat of that track. So it's always important to listen to that, and along with that, um, you would also have to know the key of the song. And I did a couple of ways to um, finding the key. The first one I did was using the tuner. Let me see if I could find it. Actually, I'll just bring it up right here. Under metering, it's this Logic, by the way, and use the tuner. And I used it during the hook. Um, it started with the A and C, and it might be a little confusing at first to using this, unless if you don't know your scales. But what also helped me to finding out the key of the song, which is in C minor, was playing the keyboard or your MIDI controller, which is what I have, and playing the key. And if it sounds like all the keys are going, or at least the melody um, falls along with that key, and it doesn't sound off or off pitch, it just blends in with everything else, and that's the key. That's the dominant key, and that right there would automatically tell you that's the key signature of the song. And like I said, this is C minor at 128 BPM. And so, with that said, you've got your track, you found the BPM and the key signature. So now you gotta listen to it carefully and critically. And what I mean by that is taking the time to listen to the track. And I know I've a little stubborn to listening to the track, and not giving it my time to do it, but it's really important to do it, and including if you want to use reference tracks like other tracks to get some ideas how to put your song together. um, it's really important to listen to the track that you do pick. Then you could go back to listen to other tracks and get some ideas there, and jot them down, write them down on a piece of paper or wherever you can. And with that, it does help to picking the right samples and picking the sounds that you want to use for your arrangement. So I used several different samples here. Some of them I got them at freeloops.com, and a few other ones I got at Prime Loops. Uh, from Free Loops, what they gave you is it's $10. Obviously, you had to pay, but $10 is really not a lot. But they also give you a little ebook, which is for those who are seeking to be a little serious with DJing or production and making music, or for those who just love music in general. It's a really cool website. I would recommend it. That's where I got most of these samples and loops. And along with that, Prime Loops. It's another big website that sells samples and loops, and it really comes in handy when you try to put these together. And also, of course, I use my I don't have it here, but it's the plug sound. Let me I'll try to pull it up actually. um One sec. It's the universal um UVI workstation. I'm sorry, a UVI workstation version 2.2. And what I use is my Plug Sound Pro. It's another program I use to um, make my sounds, and it also has several loops. It's another expense, I know, um, but it's really up to you. Um, just mess around with the sounds that you get. I mean, there's a ton of websites out there that could give you lots of loops or samples, or even if you can make your own, however you can. It's your arrangement, your remix, so you have the liberty to do it however you want. Um, so with that said, once you start putting everything all together, and you start liking some of the samples there, now then you would have to start setting the levels for each of the tracks and try to avoid clipping um, or getting them on the red or basically really hot levels on your track. Um, it's just that so when you have to mix them, you will have to constantly bring down the volume and turn things up. And once you bounce it down and the mix down, um, you realize, hey, well, why is this quieter than my verse, or why is my verse louder than my hook? Well, it's just because the way you mixed it or the levels weren't set right, and you need to adjust them. You had to turn one down before you could turn the other part up, and it's just a learning process. So um, it's something we all have to learn as individuals and get used to the habit of um, turning things down when you need to, and you could use the reference tracks to help you out with that. Um, I did that, and it helped me out with this track, and I'm really happy with what I got, and sure I'd like to hear what you guys think as well. Shoot, because we're all here to help each other. Um, so with that said, that's part of mixing and setting levels. And so I won't go too much into details what kind of plugins I did, but the main plugin, and of course, everyone's favorite, is EQ. And what I used, and I think um, it's a process used by Graham Cochrane from the Recording Revolution, is subtractive EQ. And I did that a lot with all my tracks, basically with all of them. And I really don't boost anything because my philosophy is, and you're welcome to comment me, and we'll, I'll be glad to talk about it with you. But it's just subtracting it is like you're sculpting the sound, the instrument, and you're cutting things out, like I did here for the main drum beat. I cut out 450 hertz because it sounded really nasty, and I did some more cutting on 790 hertz. I did minus 1.5 decibels of cutting the Q 120, and it's basically, I look at it as harmonics and try to get things to be clear. Whereas I have another example here. I layer this with this is basically my kick drums and my claps, and I look at it like this. Um it's harmonics are based on the frequencies, obviously, but what also is good to know, and it's helped me just be a little more creative when my EQing too, is if I'm turning this down and I move this around like I did, or I cut here at 400 hertz, some of my frequencies in between 400 hertz and 830 hertz are got to be brought up. you know. And like I did right here, I used a high pass filter. I mean, low pass filter. I'm sorry. Um, did some cutting there all the way to 15 hertz. That way, you could hear more shimmer and more brightness on my hi hats on my main drum beat, and that's that was my idea of doing that. And this track right here, the drum dance loop that I have, it gave me a really punchy and low end kick. So I wanted to use that. So I cut out um, with the high pass filter, I cut out to 40.5 hertz on my main drum beat. That way I could still use some of that sub and really low frequencies of my uh, dance drum loop and be able to still have that fat and bassy subby sound on my kick with this track. So it layered it um, and it brought it out just the way I wanted it, and it sounds pretty cool to me. Um, so I did that with all my other instruments, such as my synth lead. It's another sample I used. Um, I did some more cutting here with the synth, cut out to 200 hertz because I thought it was a high pitch um, instrument or sample. So I did some cutting again, and here I did something a little different. I did some cutting at 1600 hertz. That way, when I do some cutting here in this area over here is gonna stick out for the synth lead. And since that's sticking out, I made sure some of my other instruments were cut out in that region if I could find my other synth. So I also did some cutting over here at 1500 hertz, and it's basically a general idea of harmonics right there. And I won't go too much into detail, but it's just to show you and what I did and help me to get some more clarity on my songs and be able to have these instruments stick out and cut through the mix. So, with that said, I'll say it again: subtractive EQ is your best friend, and that's basically the general tips and ideas that you can use for your remix, for your tracks, for any type of project that you want to do. This, I hope it does help, and I'm looking forward to seeing uh, people um, commenting on this video and sharing their ideas and um, give me some suggestions, some pointers, because this is something I'm enjoying, and I love it. And sum it all up on the last point, when you are making um your track or your remix or whatever the case may be, it's always important, just enjoy what you're doing, have fun. Even though there's a sample that doesn't work, you can always get rid of it. I mean, it's simple as that. And not everything's got to be perfect, and um, we always learn from our mistakes, and um, just keep on making music and don't give up. I know it's happened to a lot of us when we do a project. We just tend to give up because we can't figure it out what to do with it. But just gotta keep going, and you'll see you'll get great results out of it, even though people might not enjoy it. But as long as you get the habit of making music, remixes, or songs out of your own creativity, or out of your own ideas that you make, then you realize that you could do a lot with the music that you make. And like I said, enjoy what you do. Um, we're all here together just to make music, and that's what really is all about. So once again, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, comment. Feel free to send me an email. And I love to continue making these videos. If you do have a suggestion for a remix, hey, shoot it my way. I wouldn't mind doing a different kind of remix. Just experiment with it. I don't mind. So once again, thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy your Halloween. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys. Take care. Peace.